I'm Shelly Turner with the Builderall team. In this video, we're going to learn how to use workflows inside of MailingBoss. So to get there, all I'm going to do is go across to the top menu here and go ahead and click Workflows. Now the first thing I need to do is make sure that I name my workflow that I'm working in. So I'm going to put a name right here where it says Insert the Workflow's name. Once I get the workflow name added, then I'm going to click Save to save my changes. And now I can start working in this workflow and I can save everything that I'm working in. So there's several things that you can do to get started. You can add a list, you can route subscribers, you can create an email campaign, which is a single email. You can create an email sequence, which is a group of emails. It can include one email campaign or several email campaigns. You can create an instant message, which is an SMS text message. And you can create tags when people come into lists. So let's look at each one and how we can work with it. So I'm going to go to this first one, list, and I'm going to pull this over. And all I do is click and drag, and it drops it onto my workspace area. And now I've got the shell of a list, but it's not really a list yet. It's just kind of a placeholder. So I have to click this little icon here to go ahead and configure the list. So I'm going to click that icon. And I've got a couple of choices. I can either choose a list that already exists, or I can create a new list that doesn't exist yet. So if I want to choose a list, I just click the down arrow, and it will list all of my lists for me. So I can add a list that already exists and pull it into this workflow, or create a new list. I'm going to go ahead and click Create New. And that takes me through the steps to create a brand new list. So for this one, I'm going to put my list name, the display name, the description. So I've got the name, display name, and description added, and then I need to choose if I want it to be a double opt-in or a single opt-in. Remember that a double opt-in list means that the subscriber needs to do 2 actions to get added to your list. And typically those are, first, fill out an opt-in form, and then second, check their email and click confirm in the email. The other choice is a single opt-in form. That's where they have to do 1 action to get added as confirmed on your list. And that action usually is just filling out the opt-in form. Now, why would you choose one over the other? The single opt-in is going to allow you to create a list really fast, but the downside of that is that there can be a lot of fake emails in there because they don't have to go check their email and click confirm. A double opt-in will actually get you a much better, much more responsive list because they have to go to that email and then click confirm to be able to be confirmed on your list. So a double opt-in is always the better choice when you're creating a list. You can create single opt-ins in MailingBoss, but they must be approved by support. I'm going to go ahead and choose a double opt-in. And then for opt-out, meaning how do they get out of your list, you can choose a double opt-out or a single opt-out. Meaning for double, they have to do 2 things to get opted out of your list. For a single, they need to do 1 thing to get opted out of your list. I'm going to leave it at default of double opt-out, and then I'm going to click Create. Now this list is created, and it immediately gives you some options to start editing the subscriber list. So you can actually go in and click Update List, which allows you to go in and update many different settings inside the list. You can go in here and edit the list pages and emails. These are the default stock emails and stock pages that are available for this subscriber list. And then you can also go here to create and edit the list fields. This is an important thing to remember because when you create a subscriber list from the workflow area, it's going to create 1 field for you, and that is the email field. That's the default email that goes out in every single subscriber list. So if you want to collect more information, you need to add additional fields. So if you want to collect their first name, their last name, a phone number, or any other information, you're going to have to go to Create and Edit List Fields and add more fields to your subscriber list. I'm going to go ahead and keep it this way and click OK. So now I've got this item here. I can move it wherever I want to in my workspace, and I've got the list. It's called Sample Subscriber List, and it shows me exactly how many subscribers I have. The next thing I want to do is attach an email campaign to this. So this is a great way to set up your entire email campaign and email sequence so that you can see all the emails in one place. So I'm just going to go ahead and click this green arrow, and there's several different things I can do here. And what this green arrow means is if they subscribe to this list, do this. So if I subscribe to this list, unsubscribe the user from another list. If I subscribe to this list, insert a tag value. If I subscribe to this list, copy the subscriber to another list. If I subscribe to this list, create an autoresponder email. If I subscribe to this list, create an email sequence. And if I subscribe to this list, send out an autoresponder instant message. These are all the choices that we have for when a person ends up joining this list. So let's go ahead and do what we normally do. This is very typical when we're going through this workflow, to create the list first and then go in and create the email sequence. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And that's going to prompt me to either select a sequence that already exists and pull it into this workflow area, or I can create a new sequence. So I'm going to go ahead and click create a new sequence, and then I'm going to name it. Once I name it, I make sure that it's attached to the correct list, and then I need to choose, do I want to send this to future subscribers only, or do I want to send it to all the current subscribers that exist, and do I want to send to future subscribers? So if I already had subscribers in this subscriber list, and now I'm creating a new email sequence, do I want to send that email sequence to current subscribers? So you have to decide if you want to have these emails sent out immediately to your current subscribers for them to get it, or do you want to send this only to future subscribers when they subscribe to your list? Now, because this is a brand new subscription list, I don't have any subscribers, so I'm going to choose send to future subscribers only. The next one is number of messages. Here's where you decide how many email campaigns you want inside of your email sequence. So I'm going to go ahead and create 2 just to get started, and then I'm going to click create. And now it gives me a bunch of choices on what the next direction is that I can go with my email sequence. So I can choose to go into the email information and filter tags and start from there and configure my email sequence and the individual emails. I can go into the email template, email setup, or even go into the email activation settings. I usually go into the email information and check that out first. But to get started, I'm going to go ahead and click OK so I can see my workspace and what all I've built so far. So far I have a subscriber list, I have an email sequence, and inside that email sequence I have 1, 2 emails. So this is the beginning of setting up an email sequence to go out to my subscribers. Now, if I want to go ahead and configure my emails so that I can put the content in my emails, I can go ahead and select this icon to edit each email. So I can start by editing the first one by clicking this icon. And then to get started editing, I'm going to click email information and filter tags. That's going to take me to the very beginning of editing this email. So I'm going to click that. And now I need to do a couple of things on the screen. The first one is just make sure that the campaign name is correct. And it will, by default, put a name in there, which is the sequence name and then the number of the email. And you can change that if you want to. Then I need to make sure that this is either an autoresponder or a regular email. A regular email is the email that goes out on a specific date at a specific time, and all of your subscribers will get it at that same date and that same time. An autoresponder is an email that goes out in relationship to when the person joined the list. So for all of your subscribers, they may not get all of the emails at the same time because they don't all join your list at the same time. We're going to create this as an autoresponder. And then the list is usually in there for you. You don't have to make any changes, just verify that it's correct. And then the sequence is put in there for you by default. But then the next area right here is very important to remember. These are very powerful tools. The first one is the campaign filters. So you can add segments and lead score filters, meaning if you add a segment, you can add something like everybody that's already opened an email gets sent this email. Everybody that's clicked on a link gets sent this email. So it's a way to start sorting and filtering out your people so that they get this email based on what they've already done in the system. There's also a lead score filter. Every time they open your campaign and look at it, they get a certain number of points. Every time they click on a link, they can get a certain number of points. And you can actually filter based on the number of points. So if you have a certain number of points that you want to happen before they get a certain email, This is actually really valuable to send emails out to only those people that are very active on your list, that are opening emails and clicking your links. The next one is campaign tag filters. So if your subscribers come in with tags, you can actually filter for those tags so that only those people get this email. And then the next one is if you want to send this email to additional lists. So right now, the list that you're sending to is the sample subscriber list. If there's another list that you want to send this email to, you do not have to copy this email and then send it out. You can actually just click here and add that subscriber list to this email, and this email will go out to multiple subscriber lists. Once you've verified everything and set your filters, you can go to Save and Next. And now you can start editing your email. And this has got a lot of powerful tools in here to help you edit, including the content tools on the right-hand side. So these are tools that you can bring in to create your content for your email. And you just click and drag those items over, and they will be added to your email area, and then you can start editing that email. You double click to get into the text area, and then you can start dragging and putting your cursor exactly where you want to be able to start adding new text. In the bigger paragraph areas, you just double click to get your cursor in there, and then you can highlight the areas that you want to delete or change and put your cursor exactly where you want to start typing. You've got several different options, including adding images. If you add images, you just click on the image, and it will give you the ability to insert an image link if the image is available on the internet, or you can load your image and add it to the digital file repository, and then it will be added into this email. You can also do some minor editing to the image, including some cropping and some other features. This area right here, you've got the ability to preview your email. So if you click that item, you can see what your email is looking like so far, and then you just close it. And then the other button is the layout options. Now this allows you to change the layout of the email. So if you click that, it actually allows you to change the background color of your email, the width of your email. For the content area, you can also change the background color, the font color, and the direction of the font, including left to right or right to left. And then content number 1, so each of these content areas you have power over changing. So you can change the background color and the font, and you can see I've got content area number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and that allows me to change every single one of these content areas with the background color and the font color to make it very different. So once I've changed those settings, then I can go here to available tags. This allows me to add tag information that's already in the system. And if I click on that, you can see the many different tags that are available. And if you've added the first name tag to your subscriber list, you're actually able to add that into your email as a tag. You just scroll down and find the name of that tag and then add it into this particular email. You just put your cursor where you want that item to go, and then click on the item, and the first name information will be in there. Now we've added this list through the workflow area, so the only field that's added into the subscriber list is email. If I want to add more fields, including first name, I'd have to go back to those field settings in the subscriber list and actually add that field. Then it would be available in my available tags, and then I could call them by name in the email. There's also custom tags. If I click on this, this allows me to add the custom tags. And remember, in my subscriber list, I have email. If I added first name, I'd actually be able to access that from here as well. And then I've got auto funnel tags. If I click here, these are the auto funnel tags that are available in my Builderall personal profile information that's on my dashboard. So if I wanted to send information in the email that says something about maybe your Builderall sponsor, and then add this tag here, that's the name, it would actually put my name in there, because it will go to my account and look up that tag information and put my name in there. So these are from the profile information area on your Builderall dashboard that you can add into your emails. The next area is show plain text version, and once you have saved your email, so you can click save down here, you can take a look at what the plain text version of your email is going to be like, and that includes no hyperlinks and no images. It will all just be text-based content. And there are some email clients that allow you to set it up so you will only get plain text version, and that's for security reasons, so things don't download and cause a problem on their computer. The next area I'm going to talk about is up here on this menu of items. You can actually import HTML from a URL. So if you have some HTML you want to add to your email, you can do that here. You can upload a new template. So you can create your own template for email and then upload it here. You can change or select a template. So this button allows you to either change the template that you're using from the template area or select a template that you've created that's in the My Template area of MailingBoss, and you can pull it in here and then start editing. And then you've got the ability to use Google UTM tags or user tag management. This is about analytics and Google helping you understand the analytics of what's happening with your email. So once you've edited your email, you can go into Save. Once you're happy with the email configuration, you can click Save and Next. The next area, you want to make sure that the from name is correct, the from email is correct, the reply to email is correct, and then this particular to name has the email tag on it, so you want to leave that, the email tag. You don't want to change that. And then you want to make sure the subject is exactly what you want it to be. So for here, it by default puts in welcome message, but I could change that if I want to. You've also got some advanced features here. So actions against the subscriber upon campaign open. If they open this campaign, we can actually make something happen after they open the campaign. So if I click add action, I can choose as an action to copy a user to another list if they open this campaign, or I can even move the user to another list if they open this campaign. And then once I choose copy or move, then I can choose what list they go to once they open this campaign. If I don't want to do an action, I can just click remove here. And then once I have all of this information completed, I can click save and next. Now the next area we're going to talk about is what time do you want to send that email. So for an autoresponder email, you actually choose whether you want to send this email after they subscribe, after they open a campaign, or you can choose a specific weekday that you want this to send on and then continuously send it on that weekday. You can actually send it multiple times. So for this case, I want to send it after they subscribe, so I'm going to click that. And then because it's the welcome email, I actually want it to go immediately. So I'm going to set the time value to 0, and then the time unit I can leave days, or I can leave it minutes, hours, day, week, month, year. It doesn't matter. By setting it to 0, that means it's going to be sent immediately as soon as the person subscribes. And then the next item is the autoresponder send hour. Now, this is when they subscribe. It marks the time in the system of when they subscribed. And every other email that they get after that can be sent at that same subscription time. So if they subscribe at 5 o'clock p.m., all of their email sequences sent out. If you set it for same as subscription, they'll go out at 5 o'clock p.m. But you can click the down arrow and you can choose a specific time that that email will go out instead of just their subscription time. So you can set each of the emails to go out at 8 o'clock a.m., 7 o'clock a.m., whatever time that you feel is appropriate for that autoresponder email to automatically go out. The only exception is we set this time value to 0, so it will not respect the time that you put here because it's going to be sending immediately once the subscriber joins the list. So for the welcome email that goes out immediately, you just set this as same subscription and it will go out immediately. And then of course I get to set this again, which is set to future subscribers or current and future. I'm going to send to future subscribers only since this is a brand new subscriber list. And then activate at means when do you want this campaign activated, as in when I get new subscribers it will trigger the email to go, and it will put the time that you open this. So right now it has the date and time that I'm working with right now. If you don't want this to activate until next week or 2 weeks later, you can set this to activate so it will not send to anyone until a certain date at a certain time. Most of the time, you're going to just choose the default information that it puts there. Then you can send a send email test. When you click this, you can put your email in this field right here. And before you activate this email, it will send you immediately a test email to that, whatever email you put in this field. And you can take a look at what your email is looking like. And then if it's not looking the way you want to, you can go back and make some edits. Once you've verified all that information and sent yourself a test email, you can then choose to either click Save, and that will save everything that you've set up so far. You can click Save and Activate, which means that this email will not only be saved, but the email will be activated. Or you can click Activate Later, and that will keep this email in a paused state. So even though you've configured it completely, it's not going to send out if somebody joined your subscriber list. I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Activate. And I want you to notice that up here I got an error that says there are lorem ipsum or similar text in the template. What that means is it can see that there's still junk text in the email. So it's telling you that it's not saved completely. So you need to go back and edit that email to take out the lorem ipsum and the junk text, and then go ahead and save and activate. And once you take out that junk text, it will activate the email for you. So I'm going to click Activate Later, and that would take me back to my workflow area where now I can go and edit my second email. I want you to notice my first email is in 0 days when it's supposed to send, and it's in a paused state. That means if somebody joins my subscriber list right now, this email is not going to send because it's paused. So now I can edit the second email the exact same way. I can click that edit button and go in there and do all the same things that I did with this first email. I also want to talk to you about the other icons here. The first one is the little tag icon. If I click on that, that allows me to set up a tag for this particular email to filter for. So if you'll notice, it says choose or set tags to filter for your subscribers. If I only want to send this email to a certain tag, I can actually set that tag and it will filter for that tag only and send to only that tag. The next item is the little clock. If I click on there, that allows me to choose some campaign options, including who I send it to, whether it's future subscribers or current and future subscribers. I can change the status from paused to active. I can set the activation date and time. I can set the autoresponder event, which is after they subscribe. I can set the time value of when this email will be sent, including the time value and the time unit. So this one's set for 0 days, which means it's going to go out immediately. And I can also set the send hour, which, remember, on the first email you can leave it as same as subscription, but then every other one you can actually determine that it's going to send out at a specific time of the day. Once you've got all those set, you can click OK. And now you can see that this email has been activated. So what will happen is if someone subscribed to this email list, this welcome email is going to be sent out immediately because it's active and it's set to go on 0 days. Now let's take a look at this green arrow on the email, the individual email campaign. So I'm going to click that green arrow, and here are the things I can do if they open this email. So if they open this email, I can move the subscriber to another list. If they open this email, I can copy the subscriber to another list. If they open this email, I can change a field value. So if you've collected information on this person and you've got a specific field that you have information in, if they open this email, you can actually change the value of one of those fields. If they open this email, you can insert a tag value on that subscriber. If they open this email, you can send them another specific email. If they open this email and click a link, you can activate another action. If they open this email, you can send them an instant message using our SMS text messaging feature. So there's lots you can do if they open this email. Now let's take a look at what the red X does on each of these items. So on the subscriber list, if they unsubscribe from this list, then we unsubscribe the user from an additional list. On the email campaign, if they do not open the campaign within a certain amount of time, we can actually move the subscriber, we can copy the subscriber, we can change a field value, we can insert a tag, we can send them a special email, or if they do not open this email, you can actually send them an instant message or SMS text message. The red X on the subscriber list means if they unsubscribe to your list, take this action. The red X on the email campaign means if they do not open the email within a certain amount of time, then take one of these actions. And you can define what that time is, including if they don't open that email within a day, a week, a month, a year. There's many choices on how to activate that if they do not open the email. Now that we've talked about how to create our basic email sequence and attach it to a list, we've got some other things that we can do in the system as well. So right here we've got route subscribers. So if I click and drag that in, I can actually choose how to route my subscribers. So if I click this little icon to do that, I choose the list that I want to route them from. So I'm going to go ahead and click and drag right here, and then I'm going to click OK. And now by routing subscribers, when I click that green arrow, what I'm doing is I'm saying if they join this list, then I want to move the subscriber to another list. I want to move them to an external list. I want to copy the subscriber, or I want to copy to an external list. So this is a way to route your subscriber. Let's take a look at that. If they join this subscriber list and I want to move the subscriber, this allows me to choose a list to move them to and then click OK. So now what's going to happen is if they subscribe to this list, they're going to be then moved immediately to this list. So what are some reasons that you would do that? You may want to send them into a certain list so that they can get a certain tag. But then once they're tagged, they can be moved to another list where the tag goes with them. And then when they're moved to the second list, they can get the special email sequence that goes out. So the first list that they land on gives them the tag, and then the second list gets them the email sequence. So let's take a look at external list real quick. So right here is the unique ID from another accounts list. MailingBoss lists have unique IDs. And if I am capturing leads, I can actually choose to send those leads to another list in somebody else's account. So you can actually get the ID of that user's account, and it will send the leads to their MailingBoss account and their MailingBoss subscriber list. So I can actually collect leads for other Builderall users as well. The next one, if I go to copy, it's the same thing as move, except it copies instead of moves. So they'll stay as a subscriber in the original list, and they'll be copied to another list. And then the same thing for copy to external list. The subscriber will remain in the original list, but they'll also be copied to another person's account in their subscriber list. So they'll be in both places. So that's what you can do when you route subscribers. Now if you want to do just one email campaign, which is a single email, you can drag a single email campaign here, and then you can click these icons to set up your email campaign. And remember, when you go through the email campaign setup, you're going to choose a list that you connect it to, along with editing the email, setting up the tags, and configuring when you want that email to go out. The next item is instant message. So if I click and drag this in, this is the instant message capability. And if I click the edit icon, so here if I have instant messenger set up, I can click choose, or I can click create new instant message. And here I'm going to put the instant message name. And then I can choose the app, and the only app we have available is the SMS text message feature. I can choose the list that I want to send from, and right now I don't have any lists that include the phone numbers. They would have to include the phone numbers to be able to do this. And then I can choose message text. So what text do I want to put in that SMS text message to go out? I can also use available tags and even autofunnel tags to add into that message text. And once I'm done, I can click create, and that will create that instant message so that it goes out automatically to everyone on my list through text messaging. And then the last one is tag. If I click and drag that over, this allows me to add a tag to any new subscribers. So if I click on the icon to edit, I can set the tag. So I'll call this new tag. And remember that all tags can only be letters or numbers. It's better if the tags are actually all capital and you don't want any spaces in the tag. And once you create the new tag, you can click OK. And now we've just created a new tag, and I can click this green arrow and I can choose to remove the tag value. I can set it so that if a person has this tag, I can move the subscriber to another list, or I can copy the subscriber to another list. So usually this is not a standalone feature. Usually this is attached to a list. So when you go to the list, you can choose Insert Tag Value, and then from there you can do all of these functions from the tag value. Always remember that when you're working with workflows that you want to click Save to be able to save the settings of that workflow, and you'll see at the top that it'll tell you when it's saved. And then if you leave the workflow to go into another area or you've closed your window, you can always click Workflows and then find the workflow that you are working in and just click on it, and it will activate that workflow so you can start working in it again. That's how you work with workflows inside of MailingBoss in Builderall.